Donald Trump on Monday asked the U.S. Supreme Court to intervene in the ruling that denies him absolute immunity. He's asking for a pause on a judicial decision, rejecting his claim he's immune from being prosecuted for trying to overturn his loss in the 2020 election.
And I feel that as a president, you have to have immunity. Very simple.
Trump's lawyers argued in a brief to the Supreme Court that without such a shield, the presidency as we know it will cease to exist. As Trump runs for re-election, his legal team are trying to get an appeals court in Washington, D.C. that rejected his claims of immunity in the federal criminal case against him. They want the court's full slate of judges involved rather than just a 3-judge panel that made the ruling. And now they want the Supreme Court justices to pause the criminal trial proceedings while they make their case. In their brief, the lawyers painted a dark picture of what would befall future presidents if Trump's criminal prosecution is allowed to proceed, repeating warnings that have failed in other courts so far. They said, quote, "The threat of prosecution will become a political cudgel used to influence the most sensitive and important presidential decisions with the menace of personal vulnerability after leaving office." In the February 6 ruling, the D.C. judges stated that the risk that former presidents will be unduly harassed by meritless federal criminal prosecutions appears slight, and said there was no functional justification for giving former presidents full protection from federal prosecution.
If I don't get immunity, then crooked Joe Biden doesn't get immunity.
Trump faces 4 criminal trials, including 2 surrounding alleged efforts to overturn his election loss, one a federal case, the other at state level. In the federal case Trump is seeking immunity against, he's accused of conspiring to defraud the United States, conspiring against and obstructing the congressional certification of Joe Biden's electoral victory, and conspiring against the right of Americans to vote. Prosecutors argue that Trump was acting as a candidate, not a president, when he pressured officials to overturn the election results and encouraged his supporters to march to the Capitol on January 6, 2021, to push Congress not to certify Biden's win.